Hi folks, welcome back. Hope you're all safe and well. This is video 4 of our hydrocarbon series and we're going to be looking at cycloalkanes in this one. So a brief overview of alkanes and alkenes first. Alkanes, they're a homologous series which contains carbon to carbon single bonds. They have the general formula CnH2n plus 2 and they're described as being saturated. Alkenes contain a carbon to carbon double bond. They have the general formula CnH2n and they're described as being unsaturated. So, with the word cycloalkanes, before we do anything, let's just break that word down. It contains alkanes. And what that implies about cycloalkanes is that they contain carbon to carbon single bonds. So we're not going to find any double bonds in cycloalkanes. Next, looking at that prefix here, cyclo, what that tells us is that the carbon atoms, as opposed to being arranged in a straight line, like we've seen previously, they're arranged in a ring. So to form this ring structure, we need at least 3 carbon atoms, because if we had just one carbon atom, well, that's just a single atom, that's not going to be able to make even a pair. If you have 2 atoms, that's still not going to be a ring, that's going to be linear. We need at least 3 carbon atoms to make a ring structure. The first cycloalkane in the homologous series looks like this. So we've got 3 carbons arranged in a triangular shape, with 2 hydrogens coming off each carbon atom. Noticing we've got single bonds between the carbon atoms. So all cycloalkanes start with the word cyclo. We've got 3 carbons, so we're going to use the prefix prop. And single bonds between the carbons, so we'll get ended with ANE. The molecular formula is C3H6. Next in the series, we have this molecule here. As opposed to 3, we've now got 4 carbons. As opposed to a triangular shape, we've got more of a square shape here. Cyclo at the start. Then we've got 4 carbons, so the prefix for 4 is but. And then single bonds between the carbon atoms, ane at the end, cyclobutane. C4H8. Next in the series, we have 5 carbons this time, arranged in a pentagonal shape. The name starts with cyclo, as all cycloalkanes do. 5 carbons, so the prefix for that is pent, and it contains only single bonds between the carbon atoms, so it's going to end in ANE, cyclopentane. C5H10, and finally, got 6 carbon atoms arranged in a hexagonal shape. We start the name with cyclo. 6 carbons, so the prefix for 6 is hex. Single bonds between the carbons ends in ane. There we go, C6H12. So what do we notice about the molecular formula for each of these? We'll notice the relationship between the number of carbons and the number of hydrogens is a 1:2 ratio. For every carbon you have, you've got 2 hydrogens. So could we come up with a general formula for the cycloalkanes? There's a general formula for the alkanes, there's a general formula for the alkenes. Could you come up with a general formula for the cycloalkanes? So you can pause the video just now, or we'll give you a few seconds just to have a wee think about that. So take as long as you need. Okay. So for a general formula, hopefully you've came up with a general formula that is identical to the alkenes, and that is CnH2n, which means that alkenes and the cycloalkanes share the same general formula, which makes for some interesting concepts that we're going to come on to later on. Okay, so make sure you've done the assignments on Microsoft Teams on cycloalkanes. If you haven't done them already, I'll go back and do them. Any further questions, please let us know on the Teams or by email. Okay, stay safe guys, take care.